Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome to episode 10 of Through the Keyhole. This is a series where we take a look at some player camps that I found around Fallout 76 and get a little bit of inspiration for our own builds. So, let's jump in and take a look, shall we? So, first up, we have a castle-style build in the Cranberry Bog. We're just outside of Fort Defiance here, which is an interesting little build. Not normally a big fan of using the metal textures in Fallout 76. They're one of the least well-done ones, in my opinion, but they've managed to make it work here, which is pretty cool. Castle builds can be quite hard to pull off successfully, given the limited tools that we have available and the space we have to build in, so it's quite an impressive achievement, really. I'm quite keen on this little build. So I thought I'd show it off today. So heading up the front steps, we've got the mosaics, which I've still not managed to pick up and absolutely have to, because they're very, very cool. All the essentials downstairs and out front. Scorched beast flying around, who astoundingly didn't actually attack either me or the camp, which is very, very surprising. So it was quite a lucky turn of events. Fire vending on the side here, nice and easily accessible for anybody who comes to visit. Very distinct towers on the corner. I'd be interested to see exactly how they put those in place. I'm guessing they just snapped a couple of extra foundations on to get them in the right place and built out from there. But it looks good. I like the statues out front as well, gives a good indicator of where the front of the build is. Heading on inside, not much on the ground floor. Nice little bit of work with the wallpapers there. Same up here, and all the essential tools and workbenches on the first floor. Head up to the second one. This floor could perhaps do with a little bit more decoration, a little bit more going on, but some very, very bright colours going on. And I do like these little rooms at the back, which are each designed around their own specific function. One small issue I did have with this, I've noticed recently in the game in general, is that wallpapers seem to do absolutely nothing good for frame rates. They do seem to crash down a little bit, which is somewhat frustrating, but nonetheless, the effect is very, very cool here. Separate little living room there, kitchen space. I swear blind I picked up that sink as well, which is actually fully functional, but I can't find it for the life of me in my build menu, so quite what's going on there I don't know, but looks very, very cool in here. I really like the use of this little linoleum floor, I assume it is, which I haven't actually seen anywhere else, either in the Atomic Shop or in anybody else's build, so I'd love to know where that came from. If anybody knows, let me know down in the comments section, because I would like to get my hands on that. Very, very cool. A bit more decor in here would really round out that floor, which would be really nice. A little room up the top, which brings us out onto the battlements. Smoke clipping through the floor as always. The eternal problem. Scorched beast flapping around is still not attacking me, astoundingly. See Fort Defiance in the background there. The views from up here are absolutely fantastic, and the towers are making the most of the tools we have available to make them effective, which I really, really like. Using the doors there at the top to position the turrets in. Don't know what the range will be on those turrets, but they are effective nonetheless. Keep the troublemakers away. All in all, a nice build for something that is hard to pull off, this one. I like the use of the brick textures as well to add a little bit of contrast in there with the wallpapers and the metal tab as well. A nice little mixing up of the textures, which is always cool to see. Down the staircase. I've also done a really good job of snapping a couple of these larger stair units with the floors attached next to each other and on top of each other as well there, if I spotted that right, which I may well not have done, knowing me. There we go. Which is very cool to see as well, so a nice little build there. Very well pulled off, given that it's quite challenging to do that sometimes, so very, very cool. On to build number 2. So this one is a little bit different. In principle, it's quite a simple little build, but again, it uses almost a tower turret kind of concept in the design, but it's the decoration on the inside that really brings this one to life. So we'll head on in and take a look. Not quite sold personally on the blue Brahmin statue there on the left. Don't quite know what to make of that. It's an odd addition. It doesn't really gel with everything else, but it's certainly striking and eye-catching. Speaking of striking and eye-catching, the decoration in here is really, really cool. Heading on in, they've really gone to town on this. I need to pick up those paintings from the White Springs as well for some of my own at some point, because they're really, really cool. I've got everything you could possibly want crammed in here. Little music area, little Mothman shrine, I suppose, there. Massive nuclear winter statue in the corner, which is very cool. Writing desk. Nice little chill out space by the fireplace. It works very, very well. I'm surprised at how well, given the mixture of styles they've got going on here, that brick fireplace blends in with everything else. It actually looks really good and like it belongs, which is interesting given the contrast. So, nicely done there. Little plants in the corner. One thing I don't quite understand about this build is why they've got the Raider toilet outside when they've got a nice little bathroom tucked inside here. Wallpaper works quite nice in here. Not quite sold on the lack of privacy there with all the open windows at the front of the building, but nonetheless. And here we have the thing that really made me stop and want to include this in the video. They've gone absolutely to town on the stuffed animal heads here. Could be wrong, but I think they've got absolutely every single one of them in this little corner of the build, which is an impressive feat to say the least. Some of them do stick out quite a long way, take up a lot of room. The Mothman there and the Snallygaster spring to mind, but I think an impressive collection of them there, which is really, really cool to see. All the essential workbenches and stuff in this particular corner of the build. Make our way around. I think personally I would have closed off the top section of this internal wall there. I mean, in an ideal world, putting a lower roof over this and having sort of shelving layer, for want of a better way of putting it, formed by a roof on the top of the corridor here would have been very cool, but unfortunately one roof on top of another is not something the game will allow us to do, but there we go. A little look at the bedroom in the other sort of turret here. Somebody forgot to close the door. There was another visitor to this camp while I was prepping up to record it, which is very, very cool. Yeah, very impressive job of the decoration here. Normally really open campsites or open builds, no internal walls or limited internal walls. Not really my cup of tea, but with all the decoration they've pulled this off quite nicely, so very impressive job. I like this one quite a lot. And the tank statue there is quite good fun as well. Should definitely make sure I pick that one up. So, on to camp number 3. And we have something that came as a surprise to me here. See, it's pretty much nighttime right now, and normally I try and avoid recording tours at nighttime, but I found this place rather, and absolutely had to include it, so I have to make do with it being a little bit dark, but there we go. So from the front, it's quite understated. It doesn't look to be a huge amount going on, but when we get round the back, as you'll see in a moment, the spirit really comes to life. So, a little bedroom space at the front here. Not quite sure why they haven't got a door on this. If I had to guess, I would imagine they're very, very close to, if not at, the build budget, which may have something to do with it. Got the new hidden Nuka-Cola door there, Nuka-Cola machine door. Get a little look inside. All the workbenches in here. Everything you need in one place. With a bit more lighting in here, but again, if they're at the build limit, I can see why they might struggle with that. Head on out, take a look at the real feature of the build. Gotta close the door behind you. Definitely still one of my pet peeves, the 76, people not closing the doors behind them. We'll head on to the back area of the build. I like that they've used ramps rather than stairs here. It's a nice little change, which is cool. And we have a Nuka-Cola bar, which has come out really, really well. Love the lighting in here, all the Nuka-Cola wallpaper. Really embracing the theme there. It looks really, really cool. I would probably have continued the wallpaper along the center of the top section of the bar there myself, but other than that, I really like the effect here. The player vending tucked out back. Huge quantum bottle there for a light, which is cool. See everything you could possibly want crammed in behind the bar there. All the brewing stations, got a cooler and the Nuka-Cola machine in the corner. Ice for your drink as well. And I'm guessing they haven't got the White Springs bar set here, judging by the fact that they've used writing desks instead to form a bar, but it's a good height for standing at, so it's quite a good effect. I like it a lot. Moving around the other side, players managed to incorporate this sticking up block of stone. I'm assuming they couldn't snap any foundations any closer to it or build over it, so they've just made the most out of it and turned it into a stage, which is very, very cool. Personally, I would have avoided the nuclear winter statue on there. It doesn't quite fit in with everything else to my mind, but a very cool little use of an existing bit of the area, an existing feature of the location, which is cool. And I really, really like this little balcony sort of waterfront area to hang out in. That's really, really cool. Nice little area to sit and chill. You got a few people over and come and visit your camp. It looks really, really nice looking out over the water in the evening. Or very early morning as it was when I recorded this particular tour. Very, very cool. Plenty of decoration. It really brings the place to life. I've managed to find a good use for the powered streetlights as well, though, which is cool. I've often struggled to come up with a use that didn't make them look out of place, but they've pulled it off here quite nicely, which is cool. We'll wait a moment here and let the Collectron wander by, but apparently he chose to let me pass instead. Very helpful of him. We make our way back round to the front again. Yeah, nice. Really well decorated, in-depth build here, which is really, really cool. Very, very thematic. Very impressive job. Cool ideas I might have to take a crack at myself, I think. I quite enjoy that when you arrive out front here and just first make your way in, you don't really see what's going to be waiting behind the facade of the build. It's really, really cool in that regard. Something very, very different. It's a pleasant surprise when you come down that ramp. Very, very nice little build. So, on to the last one. This was a build I found right at the end. It was the last one I checked out on the server, which was funny because I actually found quite a lot of builds on this particular server, all on at once in the middle of the night. So, very surprising to find that, but very, very cool nonetheless. So we're up on the cliff top here. We've got a little shop, nicely decorated, accessible through the window there. And this particular location is one that's very, very popular. It's just across from the top of the world. There's an acid resource just under the water there. A lot of people build in this location. This is one of the coolest builds I've seen. We'll squeeze in between the little shed there and the cliff face here. Make our way around. Decoration in the alcove here. One small issue with this build is getting onto the main build just over here is a bit awkward. You either have to jump across on the boat or go through the water and sort of scramble up the side of the foundations, which is actually the easiest way of doing it. But other than that, it's a very, very cool little build. Nice little area to chill out front. Access to the water purifiers. Another very, very well decorated build this was. Once again, it's something that really, really brings it to life. I'm quite impressed with just how much I've managed to squeeze into the build budget with this as well. Camp's actually quite small, but all the decoration and how close it is together makes it feel much bigger than it really is, which is very, very cool. So we've got the little electrical shed there that we can't get into because it's all locked off. Fine, just got the generator in there. Coca-Cola cooler. And the sign up there, hinting once again at the theme of this particular build. It's a neon sign to tell you where the shop is, if that's what you're looking for. We come into the bar, which is the feature that really, really sold me on this build. Really, really small space this, quite densely packed, but the level of detail is really, really cool in here. Coca-Cola machines again. Nice decorated Thanksgiving dresser there, I think that one is. And the bar is small, but looks really, really good, so I like that a lot. Nice little bathroom. Again, using that cornflower wallpaper. Very, very cool. See everything tucked in the corner there for the brewing stations and the bar, and very, very cool. Make our way into a tiny little backspace, which is only one foundation wide from the look of this. But these small builds really look way more lived in and way more fleshed out, I think, for want of a better phrase, because they have to use the limited space so well, which is really, really cool. Let's let that accent wall there. I think leaving off the door there is probably a good shout, in as there's limited space. See what everything jammed in. All the workbenches arranged quite nicely so they fit. Obviously a lot of thought gone into that, which is really, really cool. Make our way back out. Yeah, the little twinkling coloured lights are really, really cool in here as well. They fit really nicely in with the rest of the build. Got a few instruments and a little bit of space to hang out on the... I want to call it a balcony or a veranda or something, but it's floating over the water, so it doesn't feel quite right. Not quite sure what word I'm looking for there. There we go. So see, just dropping into the water and coming up the little ramp there is by far and away the easiest way in. Wish I'd known about that on the way into the camp rather than just figuring it out on the way out. There we go. all in all, a very, very cool build in a very popular location. It's nice to see what different things people do with the same sorts of locations sometimes, which is awesome. Make our way back out to where they've got all the various bits and pieces of their crops, razor grain, meat, fruit, all tucked on the hillside here on the way around to the shop. So, there we have it. Do hope you folks enjoyed that one. If you did, please do hit those buttons for me. It was very, very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description as always if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook. And as always, do watch out for one of the live streams as well. If you want to catch one of those, do hit the notification bell. It's the best way to get notified when I go live. And if you're really enjoying the content, please do consider becoming a channel member as well via the blue join button. The support is hugely appreciated. So thank you very much to everybody who's done that already. For now, I'll say thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.